We all know the world-famous success stories, the titans of history. We've all heard their advice and taken the lessons from their lives. But what about the lowlifes? What about the degenerates? Nobody ever talks about what we can learn from them. Until now. Charles Bukowski was an alcoholic, a gambler, a shameless womanizer, a cheapskate, a deadbeat, and on his worst days, a poet. He is, in many ways, the last person you would expect to find wisdom or life advice, which is why he's the perfect person to look for wisdom and life advice.
See this fucking thing? That's where it's done.
Bukowski wanted to be a writer, but for decades his work was rejected by almost every magazine, newspaper, journal, agent, and publisher. His work was horrible, they said. Crude, disgusting, depraved. And as the stack of rejection notes piled up, the weight of his failures pushed him deep into an alcohol-fueled depression that followed him for most of his life. Bukowski had a day job as a letter filer at the post office. He got paid shit money and spent most of it on booze. He gambled away the rest at the racetrack. At night, he would drink alone and sometimes hammer out poetry on his beat-up old typewriter. 30 years went by like this. Most of it a meaningless blur of alcohol, drugs, gambling, and prostitutes. When Bukowski was 50, after a lifetime of failure and self-loathing, an editor at a small independent publishing house took a strange interest in him. Bukowski wrote back to the editor, "I have one of two choices. Stay in the post office and go crazy, or stay out here and play at writer and starve. I have decided to starve." Upon signing the contract, Bukowski wrote his first novel in 3 weeks. It was simply called Post Office. In the dedication, he wrote, "Dedicated to nobody."
We're all gonna die. All of us. What a circus. That alone should make us love each other, but it doesn't. We're terrorized and flattened by trivialities. We're eaten up by nothing.
Bukowski would make it as a novelist and a poet. He would go on and publish 6 novels and hundreds of poems, selling over 2 million copies of his books.
I started to discover a new kind of writing that had a directness.
So this is where you write?
This is where I fuck my soul.
Stories like Bukowski's are the bread and butter of our cultural narrative. Bukowski's life embodies the American dream. A man fights for what he wants, never gives up, and eventually achieves his wildest dreams. It's practically a movie waiting to happen. It is then strange that on Bukowski's tombstone, the epitaph reads, "Don't try." See, despite the book sales and the fame, Bukowski was a loser, and he was very aware of it. His success stemmed not from his determination to be a winner, but from the fact that he knew he was a loser, accepted it, and wrote about it shamelessly. He never tried to be anything other than what he was. This is the first big lesson from Bukowski's life. Trying sounds like you're doing something. If you say, "I'm trying to work on this," or "I'm trying to be more like that," it sounds to people like you're putting lots of effort in, that you have good intentions. But what Bukowski points out to us is that trying is often the most subtle form of avoiding. The genius in Bukowski's work, then, is not in overcoming unbelievable odds or developing himself into a shining literary light. It was the opposite. It was his simple ability to be completely, unflinchingly honest with himself, especially the worst parts of himself, and to share his failings without hesitation or doubt. This is the real story of Bukowski's success, his comfort with himself as a failure. Bukowski didn't give a fuck about success. He didn't give a fuck what you or I thought about him. Even after his fame, he still showed up to poetry readings hammered and verbally abused people in his audience.
Watch it, man. I'll take you like a motherfucker.
One more beer, I'll take you all of you.
He still exposed himself in public and got arrested.
He's unzipped himself. It's just dangling there, and he's running up and down the street. People are screaming and horrified. They're covering their children's eyes. Call the police.
And tried to sleep with every woman he met. Fame and success did not make Bukowski a good person, nor was it by becoming a good person that he became famous and successful. See, growth and success often occur together, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're the same thing. And this is the second lesson of Bukowski's life, that success isn't a product of getting everything right. It's often the product of being comfortable with being wrong.
If you're gonna try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, maybe even your mind. It could mean not eating for 3 or 4 days. It could mean derision. It could mean mockery, isolation. Isolation is the gift. All the others are a test of your endurance, of how much you really want to do it. And you'll do it, despite rejection and the worst odds. And it will be better than anything else you can imagine. If you're gonna try, go all the way. There's no other feeling like that. You'll be alone with the gods, and the nights will flame with fire. You'll ride life straight to perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is.
In my opinion, the honesty in Bukowski's writing, his fears, failures, regret, self-destruction, emotional dysfunction, it is unparalleled. He will tell you the best and worst of himself without flinching, without shifting his eyes or even muttering a sorry about that as an afterthought. He wrote about both shame and pride without qualification. And what Bukowski understood, which most people don't, is that the best things in life can sometimes be ugly. Life is messy, and we're all screwed up in our own special snowflake kind of way. He never understood the baby boomer obsession with peace and happiness and the idealism that came along with it. He understood that you don't get one side of life without the other. You don't get love without the heartache. You don't get greatness without pain. You don't get meaning without sacrifice. And this is the third life lesson that I take from Bukowski. See, in our minds, we like to believe that happiness and success and confidence and good relationships, that these things all go hand in hand together all the time. And the truth is, doing those big goals that feel meaningful requires us to feel some degree of pain and sacrifice. Because what I love about Bukowski is the implicit understanding that finding purpose and meaning is not a fucking 5-day spa retreat. It's not euphoric or joyous. It's not an epiphany in a meditation circle or found in a pill or a drug. Finding purpose in your life is a trial by fire process. You don't simply wake up one day and become happy doing one thing forever and ever. Like death, a purposeful life is a constant work in progress. You must do something, pay attention to how it feels, then adjust, and then do something else. Nobody gets it right on the first try, or the 10th, or sometimes even the 200th. And in many cases, the only way you know it's meaningful is because you were called to suffer for it. Suffer deeply for it. That hurt. This is real. This is what it's actually like in the trenches of day-to-day adult life. And Bukowski, he lived his life on the front lines.
Too often, the people complain that they have done nothing with their lives, and then they wait for somebody to tell them that this isn't so. But they have it right. They've done nothing. Shown no courage. No inventiveness. They did what they were told to do. They had no resistance, no thoughts of their own.
Don't try. Instead, live. Fight. Love. Mourn. Fuck. Fail. Bukowski understood that trying was a cheap replacement for living. Trying it's a weasel word. It's a subtle way of getting out of responsibility for one's desires and one's failures. Bukowski understood that ultimately the most important choices in life don't actually feel like a choice. They feel as though they've been chosen for us.
You know, poetry doesn't pay anything, but it's a passionate, selfish, nice form where you can scream a little bit. I guess I needed to scream a little bit.
The sense of purpose is not found in something cool and neat to show off to the other kids. It's feeling called to do something even when you sometimes wish you didn't have to. It is something that feels like an inevitability, like it was born for you and into you, and whatever it is, you cannot survive long without it coming out of you. Bukowski once said, "Find what you love and let it kill you." Well, your purpose is your preferred vehicle towards death, and you're more than happy to let it take you there.